On a hill overlooking a village, a lone warrior named Enya stood defiantly. Below, an angry mob, armed with torches and weapons, approached, their faces twisted with fear and anger. The village of Eldoria, once peaceful and prosperous, harmed a dark secret that threatened its very core. The people went about their daily routines, unaware of the storm brewing within their community. Children played in the streets and adults worked in the fields, all under the illusion of safety. The serene facade masked a hidden dread that was growing stronger with each passing day. At the edge of the village, Enya trained in a solitude. His rigorous training sessions were a sight to behold. Each morning, he would practice his swordsmanship, muscles rippling with strength and precision. When not training, Einar would sit in quiet reflection, his piercing eyes watching the village from a distance. His isolation and unwavering discipline made him an enigma to the villagers, who whispered about his mysterious past. Tales of the battles and victories that seemed almost mythical surrounded him, creating an aura of both respect and fear. One day, a group of villagers gathered to discuss a growing threat to their home. Fear and tension were palpable in their voices as they deliberated the recent news of an impending invasion. An army was rumored to be marching towards Eldoria, and panic began to spread among the people. "We must act now, before it's too late," said one villager, his voice shaking with anxiety. "But what if we anger him? We've heard the stories of his past," another villager replied, casting a nervous glance towards Enya's home at the edge of the village. Rumors of the coming invasion spread fear and uncertainty. The villagers, desperate to protect their home, saw Enya as both a savior and a threat. They knew his strength could turn the tide in their favor, but they also feared his solitary nature and what he might do if angered. The village leaders decided to confront Enya, hoping to convince him to join their cause. "Enya, we need your strength. An army approaches and we cannot stand against them alone," the village leader pleaded, his voice full of desperation. Enya's eyes were cold and unyielding. "I fight alone. I will not join your cause, but I will protect this land," he replied, his tone leaving no room for argument. As the village prepared for war, fortifying defenses and training, Enya watched from a distance, silently planning. His heart was torn between his vow of solitude and the people he silently cared for. The villagers, however, were not entirely convinced of Enya's intentions. Doubts and fears festered in their minds, leading them to whispered conversations and clandestine meetings. One evening, a group of villagers decided to take matters into their own hands. They plotted against Enya, believing that if he wouldn't help them, he must be forced out. "If he won't help us, we'll force him out. We can't risk him turning on us," said one villager, his voice dripping with fear and suspicion. Under the cover of darkness, the villagers ambushed Enya at his home, accusing him of betrayal. "You think you're above us? We won't let you watch us fall," shouted one of the villagers, brandishing a torch. Enya stood tall, his expression calm and resolute. "I have done nothing but prepare to protect this village. If you seek a fight, you will find one." The villagers attacked, but Enya defended himself with precision and restraint. His movements were swift and powerful, yet he did not harm them. Instead, he disarmed them, showing his strength without causing unnecessary injury. The villagers, realizing their mistake, retreated in shame. They had seen Enya's true power and understood that he was their best hope. The day of the invasion arrived. The invading army approached, a sea of soldiers marching towards the village. The villagers, realizing their mistake, turned to Enya for help in desperation. "Enya, we were wrong. Please help us. Our lives depend on it," the village leader begged, his voice filled with remorse. With the enemy at their doorstep, the villagers saw their only hope in the warrior they had wronged. Enya, true to his word, stood alone at the village gates, facing the approaching army. The villagers watched from behind, fearful yet hopeful. Enya's presence was a beacon of hope in their darkest hour. As the battle began, he fought valiantly against overwhelming odds, showcasing his unmatched skill and bravery. His sword moved like a blow, cutting down enemies with precision and grace. The villagers watched in awe as he single-handedly held back the invading forces. Against overwhelming odds, Enya's strength and resolve were unyielding. He fought not just for himself, but for the village that had doubted him. His courage inspired the villagers, who began to join the fight, their fear replaced with determination. The battle was fierce and brutal. Enya's skill and bravery were unmatched, but even he could not fight forever. As the battle wore on, he sustained wounds, his strength beginning to wane, but his spirit remained unbroken, and he continued to fight with everything he had. Victory came at a price. The invading army retreated, defeated by Enya's relentless assault. The battlefield was littered with fallen soldiers, and Enya stood victorious but gravely wounded. The villagers, now filled with gratitude and respect, rushed to his aid. They tended to his wounds, expressing their remorse and gratitude. "Enya, we owe you our lives. Forgive us for our fear and ignorance," the village leader said, tears in his eyes. Enya, though weak and in pain, managed a faint smile. "The village is safe. That is all that matters." The villagers worked together to rebuild their home, their hearts full of gratitude for the warrior who had saved them. Enya, once feared and misunderstood, was now a revered figure among them. The village celebrated their survival, their unity stronger than ever. Enya, now a central figure in their community, stood among them. No longer an outcast, he had fought alone, but in doing so, he had found a place where he truly belonged. No longer living in solitude, Enya began to train the villagers, passing on his knowledge and skills. He taught them not just how to fight, but how to protect and care for one another. The village thrived under his guidance, becoming a beacon of strength and unity. Enya's courage had taught them the true meaning of heroism. He had shown them that even in solitude, one can find their greatest strength and purpose. As the sun set over the village, casting a golden glow over the land, Enya stood on the hill where he had once faced the angry mob. Below, the village was peaceful and united, a testament to his bravery and sacrifice. The village of Eldoria, once torn by fear and doubt, was now a place of hope and unity. With Enya at the heart of it all, the children who once played in ignorance of the dangers now grew up learning the values of courage, unity, and resilience from their parents and from Enya himself. Enya continued to train the villagers, instilling in them not only the skills of battle, but also the principles of honor and integrity. The villagers looked up to him, not just as their savior, but as a mentor and a friend. Years passed, and the story of Enya's heroism became legend. The villagers of Eldoria thrived, their community stronger and more united than ever. The once dark secret that had threatened their village was now a distant memory, replaced by the legacy of a warrior who had shown the true meaning of strength and sacrifice.